Before proceeding with this interview, we'd like to know more about you. Otherwise, tell me about yourself. This is one of the questions you will likely not miss in an interview. Now, how do you respond to this question? In this conversation, I want to talk about the three key components which you want to focus on, and also introducing the time which you want to keep your timing about yourself. And I'll also talk about the do and don't when this question is asked. Tell me about yourself. So it's a very key question, and this question kind of determine if you are going to move to the next phase, you're going to be hired or not. So it's the time sensitive question, it's a very relevant question, and it also most often your first impression or your connection with the interviewer. So you want to treat this like very, very carefully. I've done quite some research, dig in, dig out, and then this is more like an optimized tell me about yourself, which is gonna help you kind of be in point. And if you follow these tips, which I'm gonna share with you, trust me, you're not gonna go wrong with tell me about yourself. So, welcome to the Scrum Chat Room with Dr. Francis Simbunya. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button. For returning viewer, thank you for keeping it there. We keep it real, we keep it simple, and make sure that we're giving you just what is needed for you to close that gap in the job market. And for those who are interested in actually having a mentor or in actually knowing what my mastermind community are today, I'm going to run in a webinar at 3 p.m. Central Time. So just text the number on the screen, read I'm interested in joining your webinar, and I will send you a link on how you can be part of that webinar. It's going to kind of cover what you should do or what you can do in order to close the gap for that job very soon. Now, without wasting much time, let's go back to our details. Tell me about yourself. What should you include in tell me about yourself? Now, the first point, which definitely this might be kind of a bit surprising, is that how long should you tell me about yourself be? Now, I've been doing quite some research about it, right? What we're going to tell me about yourself. And now, with all the research I've done, it shows that tell me about yourself should be an elevator pitch. And it should be between 27 question and 27 seconds and 60 seconds. So your tell me about yourself should be between 27 and 60 seconds, which means that you should keep it within a minute. All right, that's ideally, right? If you keep it within this specific time, and I'm going to do a summary of what this should look like at the end of this video. All right, so stay close to the end. So now the first component, which is how long should I talk? Advisable between 27 seconds and maximum 1 minute. All right, can you go above 1 minute? In reality, I always say that there is no kind of strict line on some of these recommendations. These are like the best practices based on research, based on those who are interviewing. We kind of go through several sides, go through several opinions, talk to those who are interviewing, and then get more information on what they're looking for. And this kind of be like one of those lines which you get out there, which many want you to be between 27 and 30, and between 27 seconds and 60 seconds. Why is this then ideal? Remember, it's just like you get on the first date, right? And you meet your date for the first time, and you say, hello, my name is Francis, and then you continue talking for the next 3 minutes. That's not really a good impression, right? That person might interpret that, okay, this person might be like an overshowing person and other stuff. But then when you keep it a bit short and interesting, what happened? It creates the connection and it spark up the conversation. So the three core components you should include in telling me about yourself. The first core component is your career journey. Hello, my name is Francis, and I have about 15 years of experience carrying across project management, financial management, business development, and the Agile. This is my career journey, as simple as this. Now, the second is your relevant experience, right? Your relevant experience in the job. Let's say that I was applying for a Scrum Master position. I would say that In the past 5 years, I've worked with 7 different Scrum teams, and I've also worked in both Scale Agile environment and Kanban team. Now, this is like relevant experience to the job description. Okay, and now the last part is highlight and accomplishment. So the highlight and accomplishment should be tied to what? Your relevant experience for that opportunity. Working as a Scrum Master, one of my biggest achievements has been to be able to really spark real communication and collaboration with my team, because I believe if a team can effectively communicate and collaborate, then every other issue would not be a problem. Performance will not be a problem, because all of this lie in effective communication. All right. So you realize that I've been able to go through these 3 components in less than a minute. So if I want to pull together all of these 3 components, career journey, relevant experience, and highlight and accomplishment, within the space of 60 seconds, it's going to be something like this. Hello, thank you for this opportunity. My name is Francis Mbunya, and I have about 15 years of experience carrying across project management, business development, and within the IT, specifically Agile. In the past 5 years, I've worked with 5 different Scrum teams, and I've also had an opportunity to handle multiple teams at the same time, working with Scale Agile, working in Scrum environment, and working in a Kanban environment. One of my greatest achievements working as a Scrum Master is my ability to initiate communication and collaboration in a team, because I believe that if a team can effectively communicate, they are going to build trust. They are going to figure out how to work out performances, and if anything goes wrong, because the key in any agile environment is to be performant. The key in any agile environment is to become performant, and the only way we can become a performant is to open up to conversation. So I've been able to do that in most of my teams. Okay, perfect. So we've been able to strike this within the space of 1 minute. Now, if you watch some of my previous video, we kind of go a bit more detailed, right? Like to talk about my most recent project, I work with XYZ, XYZ. Now, or I work on this project, on this project, on this project. Is it important to include that in your telling me about yourself? It might be important. Now, the reason why in this video we're recommending you to keep it in some of this higher level, because you want to make sure that your interview it's more like a conversation rather than it being like you sitting at one point and just asking, answering questions and narrating stuff. So when you keep it this big, now the interviewer have the opportunity to like, okay, what are some of the projects you have worked on? Then you can now handle this independently, and you can also go a bit within 60 seconds. My recommended for any question that you're being asked is always put yourself in the middle of maximum 2 minutes. If you put yourself in the middle of maximum 2 minutes, you will realize that you will not go too lengthy on one question, or you will not like give some two short answers on one question, right? And you also need to understand like at the end of the interviewer at the end of the interview, you also need to ask the interviewer question. And one of the questions you might want to ask like, oh, is there something I miss in my background that you want me to speak further about it, right? So pay very clear attention on this. Now, a couple of notes before we wrap up this video is, what are some of the things you should do and not do? Now, if you've been asked, tell me about yourself, don't never respond with a question. What exactly would you want me to talk about? No. Some of these the interview might take it like you being arrogant, you might take it like you not being prepared enough and all of that, right? Now, the second thing you don't want to do is that you need to be respectful of the interviewer time, right? Respectful of the interviewer time is you don't want to go on and on and on and on and on again. No, they want not just to listen to you, they also want to share a lot with you. So the reason why you need to keep it within a very sensitive time is because you want to be respectful of the time. Now, which means that don't go include, oh, when I grew up as a child, and include your personal life, include your last visit to I don't know where you last visited and other stuff. Be on point and make it interesting, right? So if you do this, you realize that you create a good impression and you open up more for discussion and you also stay relevant and professional. Okay, almost about the end of the year, you should be able to boost up yourself. Interviews are coming, they are going to come, and this is a moment of transition for you to really take advantage. And which is why, if things are not going for you, you want to seek professional help, right? You want to be able to join a community that can support you, get some hand-on practical experience, and most importantly, in my next video, I'm going to talk about how to prepare for an interview. 5 tips on how to prepare for an interview. And some of the things I'm going to be talking about is how do you prepare in advance, and also looking at many people kind of go on video the first time when they're having their interview. How do you prepare on video? And then I'll also talk about your backdrop, how you prepare on that. I'm also going to talk about the dressing part. I'm also going to talk about what you should do during the interviews. All of these are part of an interview which you should pay very close attention in. It's not just about showing up and answering questions. Your gesture, your move, what you do, the way you position yourself is very important. All right. And if you want any information on how to join any of our community, either send me a text message or check the link below. There are so many resources for you, help you close that gap. Have a good Tuesday. I'll see you in the next video. Is it Tuesday? No, it's a Thursday. Have a good Thursday, and I'll see you in my next video.